Do nada, 10-4 fechou.
Hey, you can't just fall asleep here. Paimon will go find something delicious for you to eat. You'll wake up, of course. Just
Vai acontecer alguma coisa, não vai? Na ida, escamuche, sonho. A loja maior, será? Vai aparecer pra ele? Escamuche, a loja menor. Dottore com agnoses.
it's me. You may blame me for being a bit too self-indulgent. The connection between us is amazing. It's like I heard there's an amazing celebration feast today at the Grand. Lately, I've been so busy dealing with all the fallout from. Although you've already helped me with a lot, there's. Please say thank you to everyone. But if I just show up all the time, what if I end up scaring them? Yes, I have. You said I should go thank everyone as myself, right? So, I've decided to borrow your body for the time being. Please don't. Everyone.
Será que a voz também muda?
Paimon was just a. It's me, huh?
Hold up. Didn't expect to have a conversation with the consciousness of Lesser Lord Kusan.
No, of course not. Are you?
Oh, you know who I am? Yes. I already know every one of.
Lesser Lord Kusanali?
I took the liberty of occupying the traveler's body. Thank you so much for rescuing me. Even if that meant placing your own safety in peril. And without you, without any of you, I would have been had you not helped me to resolve the crisis. Not only I, people refer to you as the heroes who managed to rescue a god. I'm quite fond of this. Please, allow me to present...
Lesser Lord Kusanali, you have done so much.
Zinyerzad, the suffering you endured during your illness.
You don't need to be so ceremonious.
This is how the relationship between the Academia and Dendro Archon should be.
You're an Archon, but you act so humble. I'm honored to have been able to
Thank you, all of you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Are you awake? Did you rest well? After Nahida left, you ate a lot of food. You've become a glutton. That just means you still... Alright, since you're awake, she should be in the academia right about...
Aquelas perguntas finais que faz quando encerra os atos. Então tem lá em cima. Dessa vez eu lembrei. Da hora esse negócio. Eu falei isso antes, falei de novo. Provavelmente vou falar mais alguma vez. Que era a área de meditação.
Hello, traveler. What a fantastic night. So are we. And that's... Is there anything you want... After recent events, I've given it some thought, but this is definitely not a bad thing. The Akasha's centralized administration of knowledge has always restrained people's curiosity, and although people may initially feel a little uncomfortable with the law, and as for for the future of Sumeru. The former sages have received their punishment, but the new sages have... I hope that the new 6th grade sages will be more focused on academics. The other big issue is the people of King Deshret. I've already taken some measures to address this. It will take some time to rebuild... You mean, what happened after the doctor put you to... You guessed correctly. The top-ranked Fatui Harbingers, up to number 3, possess power comparable to that of gods. However, in spite of the bad situation, I'm sure you remember the entity that changed your fate, the Heavenly Principles. In fact, the Heavenly Principles has been quiet since the Conria disaster 500. I told him that the Heavenly Principles may be awakened if I destroy the Gnosis. Although it's just a bluff, I assumed that the Heavenly Principles wouldn't just stand by and the exchange served as both punishment for the doctor as well as a boon of new knowledge that I couldn't refuse as the God of Wisdom. He's still in a coma. I've hidden him like how... I know you have many misgivings about him, but as someone who had become a god, he has retained a number of very... Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on him. In addition, there is still some mysteries left in him. His future will be determined by... Is that where you're headed next? As far as I know, that nation operates in the judicial... Does their Archon person? No, there's a Chief Justice in Fontaine. Generally speaking, the Hydra Archon, Focalor, however, even then, Focalor will still make herself present at just about it. As Archon, she still reserves the right to influence the final verdict. Anyway, let's just say she's got...
Interessante. Isso aqui foi muito bom. Isso aqui a gente só vai saber no final do jogo. Os 3 primeiros mensageiros possuem poderes equiparados aos deuses. Ele podia fazer resquícios deles espalhados pelo tempo e espaço. Mano, muito absurdo. Vamos ficar preso aqui. Não tem muito o que dizer.
Are you sure? Huh? While you were resting at Gandharvaville, I took some time to perform an Irminsul search for information on your sister. Yeah, isn't Irminsul a repository for all... This is true in your case. However, there must be something different about your sister. What? There is only one possible explanation.
Nossa.
She belongs to this
Ou foi que nem fizeram com a lote maior.
But nothing about this makes any sense. Wasn't this your first trip to Teyvat? According to the records I was able to access, your sibling suddenly appeared in Conria.
Quando bebê.
After the Conria disaster, she began her journey through the 7 nations of Teyvat. But just as her journey was about to reach its conclusion, the Irminsul records on her suddenly become fuzzy. What do you mean, fuzzy? Did something happen to her? All I know for sure is that somebody, for reasons only they can, and whoever it is, if they can do that, who knows what else. But even that wouldn't explain how she somehow comes from this... Something else I noticed was that according to these records, the Fatui have not classified this. What's a descender? Look, I'm sure you must be curious about the information I received from the Fatui, in which a very important part of the intel was about this world's descenders. External beings, ones that don't belong, traveler. You are Teyvat's 4th descender. Huh? So the Fatui count 3 other descenders before the traveler? And his sister isn't even one of... That's right. My current hypothesis is that the first descender was likely what we now call the Heavenly... As for the other descenders, I still need to verify their existence.
Como que princípios celestiais pode ser descido? Aquela deusa.
Even knowing all
O
this,
dela não combina com nenhum alimento.
I'm sure you must still have a lot of unanswered questions. There are many questions in my heart as well. I will need some time to go through each one, and soon, I'm very interested in your future. It's a journey that can't be observed or recorded. If fate is the ultimate knowledge, then your future will be the ultimate. I'm unsure. The pleasure is all mine. Alright, that's enough talk for today. If you ever
Bem,
miss me,
realmente fez
just
jus a
close
Deus
your
da
eyes.
sabedoria. Nossa, muito da hora, mano. Bem melhor do que eu esperava. Galho primário. Nossa, puxa. Nossa. Tá bom, mas primeiro. Eu não reparei no que ele dropou. Qual foi o traço elemental? Só o Bent tá saindo bastante rápido. Aqui. Muito da hora esse boss. Muito cedo.
Useless. Let's light it up. Dare to mess with me? That's gonna hurt in the morning. Everybody stand back. Have fun with this gift. Oz, reveal the...
Disappear! Here! Worthless! Worthless! Here! Worthless! Here!
Eu não sei pra direito esse combo.
I'm going in.
Evil
Eu preciso da ficha.
Worthless! Here!
Ah, ele dropa elemental. Só que o aleatório é só passar na síntese, então. Beleza. Onde que é a síntese? Tem coisa diferente? Deixa eu ver. Nem sei quantos eu tenho, nem quantos preciso. Dois do vento, 15 frutas. Até pra pegar ela, já outro pego mais desse, então por enquanto é de boa. Início de Biaco. Continuando. Acho que no segundo caso. Resistência do Bennett. Acho que nem li de ontem. Resistência, beleza. Que isso?
Hey, what the heck was that for? Doesn't want to talk, huh? All right, let's convince him to calm down a little.
Let's light it up! Dare to mess with no sense!
Tomei. Ah, não é pra matar.
Huh? So you don't have a vision after all. Seems like I've mistaken.
At the very least, no, wait. Even when you're
Have you ever met someone by the name of Kaedahara? He carries a sword just like you. I've also heard that he put... That's none of your business. Never mind. You don't look like you know anything anyway. I'm wasting my time.
What the heck is this guy's problem? Coming around here, waving that weird
Vai, ele
sword
vai
in our faces, and he didn't. Well, one thing's for sure. No way are we telling him, hey! Anyway, just to be on the safe side, oh? What kind of hunch? A special connection? You mean beyond already knowing? Yeah.
Verdade, que tornado que
Maybe a
fez.
little. Anyway, there's no time unheard that the Crux fleet is stocking up in Rito at the moment.
Hitou. Uma história estranha assistiu.
You looking for Kazuha too, huh? Guess he must have done something impressive after. Well, we took the small vessels into Rito on
Right.
If it's because of that battle on Nizuchi Beach, Captain Beto had a great run there too, but I don't... Kazuha keeps to himself most of the time. In fact, there are times when he doesn't even listen.
Oh, so
I've heard bits and pieces. Something about him blocking the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitatachi. Is it really as big a deal as everyone's making it out to be? Really? Wow. When you put it, he was called away earlier.
Ai,
by
não
some
conhece
people
o
from the
Muso.
Tenryo Commission. They said I thought they'd come to arrest him at first. Turns out they couldn't have been.
just a little while ago, this would have been completely unnecessary. Thank you. Guess we'll...
All right.
Ah, essa missão eu nunca fiz. Que carinha. Desafiou, acho algum.
Oh? It's you. Greetings. We were just discussing the repealing. We invited Mr. Kaedahara here to extend a gesture. Your hard work has secured for us the agreeable state of... The Almighty Shogun has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolving. The Tri-Commission has made the recommendation to use this opportunity to restore the honor of the Kaedahara. Regarding the history of the Kaedahara clan, I trust that you're all... In short, there was once a group of select bladesmiths who served the Shogun directly, responsible for upholding and further developing the... But there came a time when some of these bladesmiths revolted and fled to Snezhnaya. both the Kaedahara and Kamisato. We later learned that the whole misadventure had been secretly orchestrated by the Fatui, attributing all of the blame to the... Considering Mr. Kaedahara has once more made an outstanding contribution to Inazuma, the Almighty in the interest of preventing further harassment of the Bladesmith clans by the Fatui, we chose not to public...
This is a true honor. I am delighted to... However, would I be correct
reparando
to
nesse
assume
dele.
that this magnanimous...
I can assure you that nothing could be further from the truth. With the Kaedahara clan's reputation and occupation restored, the Kaedaharas you will be able to lead a safe and prosperous life in Inazuma City. With the Almighty...
I have grown accustomed to life among the elements. I fear I would no longer feel it, yet my ancestors did indeed take great pride in the name of Kaedahara. And the art of...
I sense some hesitation. Should you accept this offer, I imagine many of the malicious rumors currently circulating through the populace will...
Malicious rumors? Oh, we heard on the...
Well, to some, the Muso no Hitotachi is something that can never be defeated. They cannot accept... Also, eyewitnesses saw him using the power of Electro in addition to that of Animo. As a result, also that...
But that doesn't...
That is correct. However, to some people, the idea of a single person...
This is just one of many similar rumors. I am very uncomfortable with being the subject of public discussion. But perhaps if the Shogunate is willing to publicly support me...
This is precisely why I encourage you to give our offer.
In fact, let us put this discussion on hold for the moment. Well...
Yikes! We nearly...
Why would such a dangerous individual be looking for me? No. My fighting forms were taught to me by my family, based on techniques originally developed for blade testing. We undergo rigorous training to standardize every motion the blade is put through, so that over time these techniques came to form something. Those forms are quite different from the more practical ones, typically...
All the more reason to watch your back!
Indeed. He sounds highly aggressive.
In that case, I will send some men out.
Thank you. I must say, I am now very curious about this matter. I will first join the Traveler and investigate...
Very well. Please stay safe.
Come on. Let's go and track down your aggressor.
The detective agency knows the most about what's
Agentes
going on in the world.
detetives. Se ela não comprar meio milhão de moras de novo... Meio milhão, 2 milhões? Nem lembro quanto ela ia comprar.
You are too kind. We are...
Oh? You were targeted in an assault? Mr. Kaedahara is currently the talk of... To be honest with you, our detective agency has recently been receiving many... Some of them were offering us millions of mora just to gather the information they want.
Millions?
Please, accept my thanks for...
Of course. No matter what, we only take on legit... Sorry, I got a little off topic, but I wouldn't know where to begin.
Then let's put that connection aside for now. Have there been any other attacks or similar incidents recently? The Tenryou Commission had very few leads.
It's true that the commissioners aren't clued up about every little thing that goes on out in the streets. But typically, if anyone had been out there attacking people, that would be assault. In which case, the Tenryou Commission would...
Uh-oh. Looks like the trick...
I still find it difficult to believe that whoever attacked... Few people possess your prowess in battle. So unless you were the first person he targeted, I am well aware of your talents. It would cause me great grief to see someone become critically injured or lose their life because of me. For the poor victim, this would be a completely senseless crime.
Don't worry.
It seems you are every bit the...
You flatter me.
You are much too humble. Don't... Oh, actually, let me tell you about it.
Sure.
All right, then. Recently, one of them is a pretty well-known collector, surnamed Nagato. The other...
Amanoma.
Right. Yuya is the nephew. Two grown men going missing at the same time. I recalled this because Amenoma Yuya is also an accomplice.
Understood. Though it...
Sure. Can't hurt.
Thank you, Ryuji.
Sounds good.
Lendas urbanas.
We haven't been to the Yai Publishing House in a while. Paimon wonders if they have any new books.
Come on, this is a no-brainer, man. But the exam's next week. If I fail again... it's just an exam. Trust me, there's no problem you can't solve by throwing more at...
What are they arguing about? It's quite a spirited...
Huh? You need but stand on this land at midnight, lower your head and recite a special incantation, then your wish... Looks like you guys really...
A wish ritual, right?
It's this guy called... I heard it directly from...
His whole bed was filled with...
Of course, I'm sure the part about waking up, whether you believe it or not, it's not... If you're still feeling skeptical, just ask around.
Really? Well, come on! Well...
Yes. The Kaedahara and Amenoma clans were both members of the Raiden Goku. After I returned to Inazuma, I visited Mr.
já?
The techniques of blade making were personally bequeathed to the Raiden Goku. Unfortunately,
So sad.
It is a great pity indeed. In the old days, as an example, the Amenoma art, there is nothing mystical to our work. There is only practice. As for the art of the Kaida...
That's right. Ishin art strives for only a blade thus forged can capture and convey its maker's...
Indeed. Most samurai choose their blades. You are, without a doubt, the most worthy wielder of an Ishin blade.
You overestimate me. My actions are guided, but let's get back on topic. The purpose of our visit, we hope to assist with the...
Ah, yes. He didn't say a word, but I've done what I...
We heard that...
Yes. I believe he went to collect the item. Yes. Strange, isn't it? I want... If I had to guess, he's never been particular... He is extra...
Truth be told, we have some info based on the evidence we have gathered, so...
What? No, he is humble and kind. Yes. If there's... But... With that, I also cannot know... Anyway...
Don't worry. You have our word.
From the sound of that, Paimon doesn't...
Yes. It sounds as if something happened. Let's pay a visit.
Achei muito.
I'm very sorry, but we cannot. My husband has gone missing, and I...
No. You misunderstand us.
Ah, I see. I'm sorry you have to see me.
I'm afraid we don't have any with this in mind.
For example, Paimon's struggling to
That's a long story. He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the... Everything was fine when we first got married.
Uh-oh.
He lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. He wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. I'm happy he has a hobby, and I'm willing to support him. On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum.
Whoa!
And that led to...
Actually, it didn't. Generally, you must understand, I never would have dreamed of... After I said those words, he froze. His voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I didn't draw the line, what would happen had I not indulged his bad habits? And I also don't know if he... The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire, and both he and...
I see. Amenoma Yuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr.
At first, I assumed but my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so it's... I don't know. Perhaps he's too afraid to... Even though as long as he's willing to turn over...
Please don't get upset. If collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato... But the information we gathered from the other side suggests...
A little confusing.
Let's try a change of scene. Rest assured, we'll...
Thank...
Based on the information we've gathered so far, I can only surmise the fire at the warehouse likely... Do you have any thought?
Well...
No.
Never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
An interesting explanation. Amenoma Yuya is an expert on swords. He could have noticed maybe he recognized a blade as a fake, or a well-known stolen item. They thought a fire would destroy everything. But then the Tenryo Commission began investigating. But it's a far-fetched... One fact that I keep coming back to is that Amenoma, Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt, is the more I ponder it, the more puzzling. Right. Although the time frame seems to broadly, Amenoma Yu...
Darn!
Let's keep going, since we've come this far. If we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and Mrs. Nagato will be able to get some closure.
Okay, but where should we go now?
Let's head out of the city and check out the warehouse. There's still a chance we may be able to find some shreds of evidence.
Worthless!
If it's useful, I'll take it.
Wait, I hear something ominous.
Oh! This must be another one of those, as sketchy as that whole thing seems. You did...
Now I'm picking...
But there's nothing...
It's gone now. It felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma. Indeed. But this unexpected... We should remain vigilant.
De volta.
So it's an
The force is... The source of the Tatarigami energy has long since left this place. Judging from the concentration...
Mrs. Nagato said her husband used to hang around the warehouse by...
It could well be that he was already under the influence. From what I've been told, Tatarigami does not turn... But most will develop a stubborn streak upon being exposed to the Tatar... Mr. Nagato had an interest in collecting to begin with.
So what should we do?
Step back. I'll open the door and take a... If we don't open this door, we can move no closer to the truth. You needn't worry. Both of us.
What's down there?
Everything's buried in debris. It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse to rubble.
That was too scary!
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction that the Tatarigami energy's two ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. I fear much Yes, let's go. Quiet your mind and focus on what you sense around you. Perhaps... From this point, the trail appears to split into two.
Cada foi pra lado.
The main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the distance, but a small portion...
Whoa! Look at all those hilly churls! They're acting really strangely!
Something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look.
By royal Everybody stand back!
Lament! Worthless! Here! Here!
By the looks of it, a letter written on a piece of, well,
Tinge de vermelho por causa do sangue do cara.
according to this letter, a conflict
realmente é uma
arose
roupa
because Amenoma Yuya wanted to see Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse, and
So,
he was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of Tatarigami. Add to that the fact that whatever traces there may have been of his fate beyond after this point, yes, right, if Amenoma Yuya is attacking other people indiscriminately,
right! So let's get moving!
I wouldn't be surprised if he, too, for a practitioner of the martial arts, all the clues that I have a hypothesis that...
Wait! You figured it out?
I believe so. But it's something of an on with the search.
Off we go! Why here?
I'm not sure.
Show yourself!
Kaedehara Kazuha. It's you, at last.
What's your
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. But what if instead of facing Amenoma Yuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
Now that you mention it... Whoa, whoa! Shh!
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within physical objects. The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years, affecting his state of mind, or rather as a means to occupy Amenoma Yuya.
You're sharper than I thought. You've already deduced the truth of the matter. Many, many years ago, I was forged by a famed bladesmith of the Ishin tradition. I was his pride as a descendant of the Kaedehara clan.
I presume it has something to do with the Raiden Gokat.
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's He was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. There was nothing, and sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. All of he not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength, but also in her conceit, the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect...
So... Sword?
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. After the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began... I seek but one thing. To face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power.
So Amenoma Yuya, tell me, what happened?
My hosts? Who cares what happened when they got tired, or injured, or unusable? I hopped to the next... After I returned to Inazuma, I decided at long last, I'm approaching my journey's destination. By Amenoma Yuya's body, I have found you. Kaedehara Kazuha, you stood against the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hito. Now,
Nem sabe o que a gente fez.
your body...
Let's light it up! We'll see about that.
Rewrite history!
Into the wind.
Submit to me!
Oz revealed!
Shall rewrite history!
Teamwork is dreamwork!
Fallen leaves, adorn my night. Disappear.
Do not stand in my way.
Your bluff's fool.
Lost. I can never even if you defeat me here. He is but a puppet that can be replaced. The end result is the same. I will, and even if I were to lose by any means necessary.
Your fighting style. It is indeed the form, but from your movements, I sense only hate.
Really?
As I've mentioned before, the forms of each. Since the blade is currently possessing Amenoma Yuya's, if you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate single.
Are you trying to claim that I am helpless without you? On his deathbed, he passed to me all of Ishino in that regard.
Because all of that is. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years. Now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak.
Oh, that's right. Paimon remembers now. Mr. Nagato had a
Só mexeu na hora de vender.
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and well, that brings me to my second. You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition. What I think you realized your limitations long ago. The more, but the way I see it, what began.
What would you know about any of this?
You returned to Inazuma to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Ishin art. Even if you were to sever that divine light. Sure, you inherited the secrets of Ishin art. But even as you made your journey to honor this light, how could you possibly unleash the full
Silence! I must achieve my... I will concede that you are most perceptive. You see my...
And you should...
Easy for you to say, but I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. It is pointless to argue further.
How stubbornly... I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the Almighty...
Very well. Then find yourself some enemies. Once we have dealt with them, we shall...
And as for your end of the bargain, if...
I accept...
Do this, Kazuha!
This is the only way to save Amenoma Yuya. The cursed blade's strength is currently very weak, and I sense he's hesitating. The power of the Tatarigami lies in intensifying existing obsessions.
What?
Even if things take a turn for the... We have a chance here to save an innocent victim.
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. Now.
I felt a little dizzy. It's all right. So far, this will... I will.
What should we do next?
We'll find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, if a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter a state if he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight until he has no...
Wait a minute. Since the Takatsukasa clan abandoned... What about...
The blade says he'll let Amenoma Yuya trail us silently.
Are we sure this... Okay, fine.
Useless.
Leave everything on this journey to me.
There's more! My lucky day.
The wind knows me. Clouds high. The birds come.
How are you feeling?
I'm all right. The blade is performing a lot, though he's making every effort to persevere.
Something else on...
How strange. Let's keep going.
Let's get down to business.
One with nature. Into the wind.
Lucky day.
One with nature. Fallen leaves. Adorn my night.
Something's up with the blade.
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading. He cannot hold out much longer.
But what would that...
I will be careful with it. He also says he does not... He's still trying... One with nature.
Fall before me.
Pegou ainda.
The wind knows me.
Are you okay? It looked like
Yes,
the shin's grown a bit dimmer again.
perhaps this time we'll finally...
True form? What are you... Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a...
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be... Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first... It barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy. I finally figured out why it was that you wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. For perhaps then you would still be able to, but regrettably we are nothing alike. I will never understand your obstinacy and cruelty. You're the only one who truly
Here they are! Take them down!
Where do they keep coming? Yup. We...
Don't worry, it's just more.
Let's get down
Ah,
to business.
resetou o Supremo. Tá guardando pra isso.
How's this? And you!
Time to go. The wind knows.
You fought.
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh and in spirit. No one knew anything of my story throughout my travel. I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony with you,
But in this too, you have...
indeed. No matter how hard I tried, I could not attain. Too much time has passed. My physical state is poor. Yours is the blade that took on the Muso no Hito.
Actually, this is just a generic... Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade. This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close skill. Blade, determination, and... There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have been aware, your ability to possess Tatarigami is a malevolence from the ancient past. It is the... Though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you, the part of...
I sensed it, but
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amenoma Yuya. I feel a great sense of regret for you. The moment you embarked on this journey, you lost the only person course, you have known this for...
He gave me everything. How could I said to him...
Aww.
I believe our bet is now settled. I have nothing for...
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further... When I touched the hilt for the first time, a bladesmith lay quietly on the bed, his frail face barely visible under the moonlight. A newly forged blade lay by his side.
Wow.
Indeed. While in exile in Snezhnaya, the bladesmith, he spent the rest of his life in the forge. He felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, but he could never again return to his homeland. So he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back. All he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blade.
So that's the... But after that, the...
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that the power he worked with... This blade has committed unforgivable atrocities, but only because it lost its original master. Yes, time would not wait or stop because of his determination. He seems to have calmed down.
When I look back at the path I once told him, but darkness, not only did I...
You are finally seeing...
Since we agreed to the... But I still cannot bring myself to force... So, may I ask you...
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix.
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. My physical form, as well as the knowledge I...
His attitude hurt. What do you think, Kazuha?
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. When I was first... Alas, nor have I ever had... My fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were merely... You are a fine...
Oh?
I will release Ame no Mayuya and restore it. We must have plenty of reasons to...
Understood. Then...
I see. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed true to... If a duel can help to set this state of affairs, I do not wish to be a mere victim.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for you.
Thanks for your help.
All right, then let's move. More Ronin could appear at any moment. In any case, for a final duel...
E aí? Legal o jogo. Really?
Useless. Ad Astra. Thank you for Ad Astra. This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crux Club. Yep, we still. Even it. Are you ready?
Ready? Okay. Successor of
Amenoma.
Honored to cross...
It is my honor.
One with nature. The wind knows me. Time to go.
Rapaz.
One with nature. That hurts. The wind knows me. Clouds high. The birds call. Into the wind.
O Bent tá batendo no ar.
Though he appears battered and broken, in your hands it seems he's regained a glimmer of brilliance. His sense of savage cruelty has completely faded away. But that same sense of determination remains strong.
You also fought well. There are a few things that I shall leave.
I must apologize to you for...
You need not seek my forgiveness. Nor do I have the right to forgive you on your... It is too late.
I do not wish for forgiveness. I only hope that I strayed far from the straight, and I beseech you.
Yes.
Thank you. Success.
This blade has also told me that he has another. Maybe we can go back there together.
What?
I'm not sure.
I am sorry to have troubled you.
A prized Ishin blade. Considering their... But I have some good news.
Really?
Yes. Badly wounded, and now that Hyuya is...
I think I know what you...
What's wrong, Kazuha?
Yes. He said he wants to take control.
What? No way!
He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker. I have decided... Okay. I am ready.
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Vai ficar a lâmina sem alma.
You mean...
Yes. The cost is my entire consciousness. You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Ishin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Ishin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Ishin blade, crafted by Kaedehara hands, it will still fulfill his final wish. Thank you, son of the Kaedehara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind. Kagotsurube Ishi. This name is now yours
Da hora.
to keep.
Rest in peace.
So, that's why he said it had to be done in that order. His consciousness will disappear forever after fulfilling the bladesmith.
Kagotsurube Ishin. It seems like deep down he disapproved only in the final moments.
Seems like he really...
The same fervent ambition that gave him the motivation to keep going. Speaking for myself, I'd rather see him recognize and atone for his mistakes. I understand. Perhaps this is hearing his wish to rival the divine light. Your quest to face the gods and trick after everything I've seen. Perhaps these I will continue to support you from this point on. No.
Wait! Shouldn't we all...
Oh, exactly right. And it's also time to give him a...
Eu vou usar 60 de resina farmando os livros do Bennett. Mais 80 para armar 2 boss para Farsa. Vai dar 140. Praticamente toda a resina que eu tenho.
You've returned. I hear that the Tenryou Commission is already attended to.
Wow!
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer.
What's this?
Kagotsurube Ishi. A weapon crafted using a long-lost blade. By means of a series of fortuitous events, I was able to recover and so, it looks like I will likely continue with my journey across the nations.
I see.
The Kaidahara clan has always been a family of bladesmiths. Were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflicts.
You misunderstand.
I am aware, but I still did.
Very well, I can understand. However, if you should ever change your mind or find yourself...
Great.
Where will you travel to next?
As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.
Então vamos encontrar o Kazuha em Sumeru.
You must have a whole bunch of questions after our last conversation with Nahida. Paimon was ready to ask her a million more questions, but...
Energia limitada.
So, does that just mean people like you who come traveling to Teyvat from someplace else? And as for your sister... so many
Mas o que ela falou sobre a irmã de Teyvat é de acordo com o registro dos Fatui, que podem estar errados. Tanto por desinformação quanto intencionalmente. Tô preso. Não.
Midnight Phantasmagoria! Dare to mess with me?
Esse daqui é muito complicado. Aqui é Fontaine, certo? Até onde que vai Sumero? Acho que até aqui assim. 10 vermelho, Sumero. 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 Fontaine, vai até aqui assim mais ou menos. Nossa, tem muita área ainda. Palácio dela aqui.
Come on, serious suggestions, please.
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic.
Yeah, well, I want to write my essay on something interesting.
Yes, you came to me. So all the more reason...
Did one of them just mention Tatarasuna? But is it just Paimon or is it kinda unusual for someone in... Great! Let's go find out!
Alright, I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial... If only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about him, this seems like the kind of thing he'd know about.
Oh, you're...
Hey, what's with that face?
No, of course I believe you. Actually, this is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and I...
So what, for the love of... Sorry, traveler.
Actually, we...
My teacher chose this area of...
If you don't...
hold on, Sawada.
Well, fair point. In that case, please...
Let me give you some... But in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it. And killed, apart from the sword maker, his servant, and...
That's right. Akaba's teacher is...
So first this strange person goes missing.
Yes, my thoughts...
Stop shouting!
This part's important. I just... It just so happened...
Fala que tá mais alto ainda.
Wait, so there are two missing people?
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever...
Oh, the swordsmith? Yeah,
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So, basically, something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall.
the Kaidahara?
Sawada, you left out...
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are...
Get to the point.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the Kabuki Mono was not a human, but...
A puppet?
Aha!
No! Paimon just...
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon,
Boy,
and please read my... Sawada would...
Se fosse apenas o Hobbit, beleza.
Akaba, besides...
good point.
We have some other stuff to...
Alright, thank...
Hey, so... that thing? Okay, then, even if we... After all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many...
Mano.
Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by. Over there. It looked like... the Balladeer! No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and
Será que ele virou uma veronete vazia ou será que a Nahida tá ajudando ele? Quando ele caiu depois que perdeu a gnose, ele parecia só uma marionete, literalmente, sem pensamentos nem ideias. Será que era a Nahida só no corpo dele, mano? Esse lugar é muito da hora. Ah não, não é a Nahida só no corpo dele, não, os dois estão ali mesmo.
Traveler, Paimon, there you are. Nahida! Bad news. Did he escape?
Sure enough.
Hey! What are you doing in the sanctuary of Surasana? I know you must have a lot of questions. It was my made a deal, and he's gonna do some investigation. A deal?
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me? But if that's the case, why haven't you?
Flatter yourself. It was...
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong.
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start. But I'm worried about you.
It's not every day you see people questioning the god of wisdom's judgment.
Don't you dare try to drive. As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal. Even with the balladeer.
Well, I, for one, have no reason to doubt you. Considering you even struck...
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to understand more about that in the fullness of time. The balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong, and plus, he's a former harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck. Wait a second. Former? I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a...
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events... well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility...
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings. And you said you need protection. So, why not join forces with us?
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear. Don't you? And
yeah, obviously! Then let's put that discussion to the side for today. Can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how well we manage to cooperate.
Alright. Then I'll...
Good. Go now, and keep in touch. Nihira, are you... Yes. I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, yes. As I told you what... Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason... You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twin Steve. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And so he was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, the amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. So I asked the balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. Exactly! Or what if... I understand. But sometimes, how things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. Our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart reserved for an intense longing. A feeling as Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the balladeer. But if this deal with the balladeer can give you the answers you've been... It's my pleasure, really. You're Sumeru's hero. I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly... In fact, I was going to ask you to... Even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction. Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside. Great. Prepare yourselves. I'm going to transport you into Irminsul.
Essa música e o cenário são muito da hora.
Wow. It looks pretty different here compared to last time. The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
Olha ali.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I guess you panicked when you realized that I...
Shut your beak, jailbird!
Prestigiário.
No way a prisoner gets to be so smug!
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards. But right now...
Sounds like a successful... I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively of torrents of it. I know there are many grievances between you, on both sides, but it is essential that you remain calm after... Fine. Let's call it truce.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you... If there are no further objections, or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
A snark on this guy! It's
We can start...
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection. Is this a small set? Oh, darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him. Wow. So thick. Ooh. Paimon's never seen anything like this.
Parece tecnologia, árvore.
Feels like a sacred...
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Teyvat. Every bit of information flowing here means pick your jaws up off the floor.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite?
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now...
Can you still sense for the heart of Irminsul?
Yes. Permission to begin search...
Permission granted.
Let's go. Stay close.
Hey, so...
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out.
Fazer o quê? Será que é pra ignorar?
These sapling things have spread out.
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
Pra não tocar, ele vai lá e toca.
It looks the same in every direction. No wonder he mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is this time?
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little? We're here.
What a huge...
Lesser Lord Kusanali.
Good, you made it.
Ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. The Balladier's actually doing what Nahida tells him. The rest is up to you.
Will do.
Huh. For once, Traveler, Paimon. Yes, I've also invited... Huh? What the? We can talk to each other inside our head? That's part of it. Paimon's never tried this, so... Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladier's a bit of a walking contradiction? As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Perhaps today will be the day. Well done. Smart and... So, you made contact with that part of his... Huh. Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin. Everyone has a history, Paimon. Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about... If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki... Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatarasuna's history is... Oh? How interesting. So the Genshin got it well. They guessed right about one thing.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good... Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation. Of course you do. You can't have...
So...
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come...
Wait! How did you know about that? didn't.
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know. Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery. Huh?
This light. It looks simple.
Anonymous data.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement. Shh.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatara Suna's furnace, after all. It may not.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace.
Is that so?
Vamos até essa memória.
I have been in Tatara Suna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality. Under your leadership, Tatara Suna is a warm, welcoming place. Like a giant, as I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued the forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material, has since flourished, giving rise skills, blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this trade looks to find their...
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me. Even now, you remain one of Tatara Suna's key consultants, working right here alongside us.
You flatter me. From the outset, I saw much that was commendable in the forging industry.
So you say, Escher.
My good sir.
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected. Because I didn't want to speculate. What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the... None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the golden feather to Narukami Island. That doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does.
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere.
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, Escher.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichio, the yokai struck down by the Shogun's own hand.
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from...
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a...
Enough, Esh. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside. I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some responsibility and head inside.
Judging from the look in your eyes...
Drop the act. We're past that now. Whoever you are, I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left?
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment.
Facada nas costas.
A moment like this, where you finish talking and I...
You...
You're a little... I thought I'd disguise myself exceptionally well. At least for the first few days. It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity.
If you kill me...
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person. Some may not
O cara que ele achou que tinha traído ele.
But you told him...
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out. But...
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which
Então Scaramucci não foi traído, ele foi usado.
This is all
Por outra pessoa no caso.
carefully controlled. If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity.
Nossa.
Call me the
Fatui?
Just to create a...
That's it. That's why you gave us your curse.
Look how even the righteous soul at my device functions precisely as you say. It is the only... It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they... Make no mistake, even without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up...
If you give him, he has nothing to prove to anyone.
What a beautiful way to see the world. Think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence. I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your... Mr. Niwa? Jester, I have completed the task you gave me. Creating a gap and infiltrating Inazuma's inner working. I'd like to introduce a puppet to you. If he proves useful, let's...
Hey!
Dottore. Good.
Was that the doctor? But why did we... When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind.
Maybe so.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't be... You know very well what that means. Even more so than...
Nossa.
Let's give him some space. He looks really mad. We need to give him some time to process his emotions. I'm still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So, the doctor was behind it. Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult, so now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the Kabuki Mono to live with the people of Tatarasuna. It was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. Of all the unwitting participants in the doctor's experiment, after the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the balladeer. Then, he instructed him to enter the furnace and absorb all the filth caused by the smelting process. The load was far beyond what he expected, but the balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic, "This device seems to have protected me. What's in it?" The mechanic answered, "Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift." The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his... Holy moly! So the doctor killed... Yes. Only if he understands this can you choose a new path forward.
Dottore, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
Shall we see how he's doing? Hey, you alright? That's a scary expression.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend. It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal.
Hey, are you investigating the stuff we want to know about?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset. Well, the reason why there are records about your sister in Irminsul, It might have something to do with Conria. Plus, she only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
The heavens
The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria, and lived with your sister for a time. I don't know the details. It's up to you whether... Did you get all that, Lesser Lord Cook?
Yes.
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul.
Very
good. In that case, I'll take some time.
Huh?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, give me your hand. Can you hear my voice inside? No, I can't do anything like that anymore. So tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the past? Done.
Huh? What the? What happened?
Mudar o serviço da Irminsul? Sim, mudou o passado com a retirada da loja maior.
I was just thanking him for helping me. So long.
Where are you going? Hey, wait up! Didn't you say not to go running off?
Fast reaction time. But I don't think we'll be seeing each other again. From this day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabuki Mono will cease to exist.
Ele fez uma coisa com seu com a loja maior.
Because of me, deserve another chance at life.
Nossa.
Hey, Balladeer!
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance. And I enjoy nothing, but if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily,
eu vou desfazer o estrago.
Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared.
Sim, vai entrar na Irminsul.
Oh no. Oh, Nihida! Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer. What happened just? It was the Balladeer's fault. I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little power. Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or... Where the heck did he go? Don't be. It's not your fault. Please, we're running out of time. Follow me. This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you. I'm sorry, but this isn't something I need your help with. Leave this one to me. An emergency? How bad is it? Nihida, don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be some minor disturbance. Her voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened. He wants to change the past? But surely that's right. You can't just rewrite history. It's like, imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn. Even, so, why does Paimon still... Paimon's so confused. Huh? Sorry. Paimon accidentally, but erasing yourself from history? It's unthinkable. Is that really possible in Ermin? Uh-oh. Paimon's had it with that little brat. There's no way he'll actually succeed.
Nossa.
Hey, have got any ideas? Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But so
Mas se ele se apagar que nem a Lorde Maior, só vai sair da mente das pessoas. O efeito continua.
list all our favorite food. All right, Paimon will start. First, get a brain chip. Oh. Paimon was, talking? Huh.
Nossa.
Oh dear, is that a food too?
Mano.
What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something Paimon said? So, the balladeer. Okay, sure. Where are we going? Huh? Fine by Paimon, but is everything okay?
Bem, Nero, sabe?
Ah, it's been a while. Of course. Go ahead. Oh. Now there's a question I wasn't. The once renowned Raiden Gokuden comprised the art of forging practiced by these 5 clans was first taught to them personally by the almighty Shogun. Most of the great swordsmith clans of old have since fallen into decline, but fortunately, Kaedehara Kazuha recently returned, if my memory serves me right.
Oh yeah, we learned a bit about the decline of the Raiden Gokuden then.
That, in fact, this was not made known to me for most of my life. He told me that, as we are both heirs, there is no harm in telling you the Raiden Gokuden were the targets of a murderous rampage by a
vengeful
400 years ago, so I'm told. There was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatarasuna's furnace. Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day. And overseeing it, knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives. Mr. Niwa and the smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortunes. His orphan son was left to fend for himself. In his heart, the whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. Powerless and destitute, the only legacy he had to... Alas, if only the story could have ended there. Finally, he made a drastic decision. To take... In his fury, he murdered indiscriminately.
Nossa.
Killing even bladesmiths from the Hyakume clan, which he belonged. But when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing spree came to an abrupt end. That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day.
Peraí.
I suppose they were the lucky ones.
Então as pessoas que foram mortas pelo Scaramucci continuaram mortas, só que por outra pessoa agora. Por isso que não afetou quem já tá vivo na linha do tempo atual.
Was there anything else you wanted to add?
Kazuha? Why, yes. My pleasure.
Don't tell Paimon. There are other places. On to the next stop.
Ayaga, será? Sim.
Traveler, it's been a while. If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato...
Are they out?
The Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings.
What do you think? Shall we go in?
If it were anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But seeing as you're so close...
We'll be heading in then.
Hmm? Hello, dears. Of course, traveler. What would you like to know? Oh, they're both very well indeed. As for the commissioner himself, well...
So pretty much
very...
Well, got any more questions?
You're very welcome. In fact, Miss Kamisato talks about you all the time. I must say, many things in Inazuma's.
Alright, goodbye for now. Great. Goodbye, ma'am. Don't worry.
All right.
Será que a ilha mudou?
Oh, are you two
Aparentemente
leaving
nada
already?
muda, fora a mente das pessoas.
Very well.
Well, here we are.
Do my eyes deceive?
Xavier, what are you doing here?
I was in the general area, and
We have some questions and thought you might be able to help.
certainly do. If there's anything you want to know, just ask away. Like the back of my hand. Not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used to live. Oh, well, I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the nation.
A couple?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, they say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade. It seems like the technological collaboration...
Weren't you gonna ask Xavier something about Tatar's...
Oh, I didn't realize you two were here.
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into this one today.
What brought this on? Did you just wake up today with a sudden... Sure, go ahead. A kabuki mono? I do know the word. Inazuman for those eccentric types who always go around dressed to the nines. Just the sort, but sadly, I've never had the pleasure, nor have I come... Of course!
Oh, we're leaving?
Oh, you're most welcome. Farewell.
Looks like you got all the information you're looking for. Sure, but keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile. Hey, alright, but...
Hey, it's them.
Akaba, Sawada, you're still here?
Indeed we are.
We have time.
The same topic we just...
Still looking for more info about Tatarasuna, huh?
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress, huh?
I presume you'll want to read my...
Well, what do you think?
Hey, Traveler, remember how last time Akaba was saying how you wish he could get...
What did you find out?
It's a long story.
Wow. So...
Well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Huh. Ugh. So there's no go...
This new information actually...
Yes, okay.
And they're back at it.
Oh, so...
You're welcome.
Keep us in the loop if you...
Will do. Nahida, we're here! Traveler,
Dos caramuchos da loja maior.
That's quite a story. So, this puppet known as the Balladeer, what? How, as the traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little dip. Nevertheless, it does make sense. So, you believe this person really existed? And we just... Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do this. The traveler comes from a world beyond to that. That's why there's no information about him in it. So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten, it's you. I'm having a hard time understanding this ballad. I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. As for what could... Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share? It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died. Once the Balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have he couldn't keep hating humans after that. And if he thought their story makes sense, the Balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the Doctor's help. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul and erase him. Yeah. It does make sense. It just feels so hopeless. He gave everything to do this, but it seems... Please wait a moment. Found it. This should be the one. It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming... What is it? A record from a personal collection. It was tucked away. You should take a look.
Coleção pessoal. Cutscene então?
Is this a fairy tale? I authored this record myself. Huh? You? When combined with the Traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory. Hold on. So this record survived? Yes. Any information about the Balladeer or the Kabuki-mono and other records will have changing the information in but Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written this story as... That's incredible! And sending the traveler into Irminsul with the Balladeer must have been a further precaution. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present info. But if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerges is the... There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender, and it could not grow a coat of... Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. Only a gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, the monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The monster gave a heart of water to the kitten, telling him, the foxes have decided. You are the one. The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live.
O amigo que ele tinha perdido.
It passed away soon after.
terceira traição.
Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood up. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If I will become the new moon, the answer to everything, then no one will know. We solved it! I remember now. This is not just the Balladeer's to become a god. He was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical. It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to give. Paimon has no memory of him at all. The Balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders. Before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail. That Conria was where your twin first came into this world. We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember. It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like
Então vai ter outro mensageiro no lugar dele.
still around, but still, this is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, so the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth. When you give someone the truth, you give them it to others looking on. This may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to act on his desire to disappear must have meant a lot. Never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, the light of wisdom is always there, and that is what you have been. Yeah, Mihira's right. Cheer up. Good idea. Paimon, why don't you take him out for a walk to clear his head? You got it. Come on. Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar. That'll be sure to lift our spirits. It must be really tough being the only one who remembers. What should we eat first? Hey, are you gonna answer or what? Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff. What is it? Have you...
O escaramujo está vivo ainda.
Excuse me, boss. There seems to be a small problem with the last bill. Look.
Hey! Hey, what?
You mean?
No, not you. That kid. Didn't you see? Look, if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay? What is it?
I wasn't paying close enough attention. I think you're right. Maybe it's the city. It's...
Who's that guy? You know him or something? He's who?
You're a strange kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else. But if you...
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything.
You're welcome, I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about. Look.
Then leave it to me. I'll find some more.
Stop.
I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. And you don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see you do is...
That's right, I am. We can talk more about that later. First...
Hey! What do we do now? Okay, stick...
O TP ali.
Yeah.
Even though you say he's the balladeer, what do we put...
This should be enough. Guess I should... Huh? You two over there. You've been following me all the way from the city. I'd have to... no, we haven't met. I have no recollection. Sorry, but I just can't take your...
A puppet?
Huh?
You were right.
I guess you do know me after all. Look, I'm just a wanderer. But seeing as you've gone through all this trouble... Okay, but...
Are you really working for that guy? He said...
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm. And he...
That's...
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you.
And let's return...
Quase errei o caminho.
Here you go, boss.
Oh, you really went and picked some more?
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me. Sorry, boss.
I was just about to pay you anyway.
What?
I get it, okay? You just wanted to help me out, to thank me for giving you... But look, it was pouring down, and there you were, sauntering along without a care in the world. Imagine you were me for a second. It's a little weird, right? Why is this guy traveling during a rainstorm if he's not trying to... But anyway, taking you in didn't put me out even slightly. You don't owe me a thing for it.
But I don't... No. Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye. Thank you again.
Don't mention it, kiddo. I've run into all kinds of characters.
Thank you. All right, done.
Mano, acho que nenhuma missão de recorde me deixou tão preso quanto essa. Essas, né? Desde a parte do looping. Da hora, telinha.
What's wrong?
Hello. I do...
We found this guy in the street, but he doesn't seem to remember anything. You say that you're trekking across to Vat to train yourself.
Well, it seems more relevant in my case. To me. But these two claim that they know me. And that I have a hidden past unknown even to myself.
I wouldn't call it the past. I don't like to rely on using terms like this often. Oh, like a past? Yes. Something far more distant than...
Okay. I have to ask. Oh, hope you want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. Looks like I didn't have the most wonderful existence. If it's that difficult to talk about, I have no doubt, but I'll be able to handle it.
Is truth something you care a lot?
Yes.
Then I'll be straight with you. In your previous, you nearly died because of what other people did. And many died because of you. You drifted from place to place, never able to settle, even where you found actions rooted in persistence sometimes bear bitter fruit.
I I gave everything I had.
In terms of the outcome of...
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard purely in terms of right and wrong. Each choice a person makes belongs to a specific place and time.
That is the nature of truth. If one thing is right, its opposite must be wrong. And yet...
It seems like my previous incarnation.
We're not trying to hurt your feelings or anything.
If we were enemies, why are you...
This is so frustrating! This guy's got so much to answer for, but we can't...
Lesser Lord Kusanali. As the...
Yes, it's all true.
Please, I want to see them for myself.
Even though it will cause your present self-critic...
I'm just a puppet. With no heart and no name.
Very well. Wait, shouldn't we go with him? This one...
Don't worry. Whatever danger I might face...
Traveler, could I ask you to supervise him on... Oh, good point. Given your...
Understood.
Thank...
O Char encarando ele.